Hi, this is Art Maines from Scammercast.com, where we educate, inform, and protect our elders and those who care for them on the Two Guys Talking podcast network.
Welcome to the Green Gab, place to gab with women and men. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Marla.
Rocking it in green homes, green living, and green companies. How you doing today?
I'm fabulous. How about yourself?
I'm good.
It's a magical day today.
Yeah, so you're Tony Pratt with the Sound Room.
I am Tony Pratt with the Sound Room, as I am every week.
You're not going to return the favor.
Well, you're Marla Esser, the Green Home Coach.
I was hoping you'd pick up on the clue there.
I'm blonde. I'm a little slow.
That's okay. Topics today. We thought it would be fun to talk about your green dream home.
Oh, that does sound fun.
Planning it to living in it.
Very nice.
We actually had a guest on a while back who talked about green financing.
Yep, Tricia McConkey.
Yeah, and one of the things you and I got talking about offline was, what if we expand that whole concept and help people understand not only how to pay for what they want in their home, but how to plan for it and how to get everything together, take all the resources to bear that might be at their fingertips and bring that all together into one package so that they could have their dream home.
That sounds like a pretty good idea, actually.
Well, so I think that's what we'll gab about today.
Excellent.
I
like it.
I didn't really just dream that up. You do know that.
Yeah, you did.
No, we dreamed it up over lunch.
Did we? I wasn't there.
Actually, I think we dreamed it up a few weeks ago.
Probably.
But you know, that word dream keeps coming up a lot, and it's kind of funny because as an entrepreneur, dreaming becomes a big part of what you're working to achieve for yourself and for your business. So it definitely should be part of our lives and our homes, too.
Well, I think it should be a focal point for just about everybody.
I know,
Everybody should have dreams
to dream.
aspire to. Oh, I don't. I'm always dreaming about something.
I talk to so many people that they say, I'm just too busy to think about anything else. Too busy to dream. And I think we as human beings need that time to just stare up at the clouds, reflect, dream, whatever you want to call it. But I think that's just so important to us as humans.
The day you stop dreaming is the day you stop living.
I'll go for that. I have a bunch of dreams. I'm good with that. And one of them is to build my dream home. And what we're talking about today is things that I'm actually...
That you want to do.
It is things I want to do and things I'm going to take into consideration. Because right now I live in a place that I really can't do a huge amount to.
Right.
Because I'm in a condominium planned PUD is what it's called. But, yeah, it's been a wonderful home to have.
But that's not where you're going to, spend your final bit on this earth.
No. And it's not done the way I want it to do. It's not necessarily the kind of place that I want to rip it down to the studs and make it the way I want to. Although I did look at that option when I bought this place. But I think having that clean piece of paper, that clean slate, to really think about what you want really starts with understanding what those dreams are, what's really important to you. Is it where that home's located? Or is it how it makes you feel? Or is it that it's a place for gatherings? Maybe you want a place big enough that the entire family can come. So there's just so many different things that a home can be.
I would agree with that.
Because it's not just a place.
Right, and it's not a one-size-fits-all thing either. What's important to you might be totally different from me.
And this is what I think, if you haven't thought this through, if you haven't taken a moment to dream and to understand your priorities, by the time you go talk to a builder, you're already into all the tech stuff, and your dreams might never surface. They may never get to be part of the conversation.
Right. Here's the plan. What do you think?
Right. So what do you do with it? Right. So you're responding as opposed to leading the conversation. So I actually did a workshop recently where we had an opportunity to play with this concept.
Excellent.
And it was fun. I mean, you were there. You got to watch people's faces and reactions. And this whole concept of taking some time to dream about what you want in your home and to prioritize it, and then to use those priorities to get the feeling and the value or the promise that you want out of your home. It was really cool, to be honest. I'm really humbled because so many people said, I've just never thought about thinking of my home that way.
Well, it was funny to just watch everybody in silence kind of contemplating the questions you were posing to them. It's like they had never heard them before. Nobody had ever asked those specific questions.
Well, and I guess thank you to, the personal work and the coaching work that I've been doing that has opened me up to those concepts. And I really started thinking this all goes together. One of our life goals for many of us is to own the house of our dreams.
Right.
Or at least to live in it. But if you don't know what that is, how do you know when you've arrived?
True, yeah.
So you really do need to think about that.
You have to be able to put your dreams on paper.
Absolutely.
Say, these are what I want in my project, in my home.
And I'm a list maker and I'm a goal setter. For the time that I worked part-time and raised kids for about 10, 15 years, I quit putting my goals down. I just had all my short-term lists. Mm-hmm. And I look back at that time and I did accomplish so much that because I hadn't set my goals out, I had to go back and think about what I'd accomplished. So by setting your goals down, it just brings them into the world and it makes them more real.
You know where you're going.
You do. And so you may take the scenic route instead of the highway. However, you know which direction you're going. I had to laugh. I posted something on Facebook the other day, and it was a straight line going uphill. That was my plan, and then it was a squiggly line all over the place, and it was God's plan. And I thought, that's how life works.
It had the lake with like the rope swing and everything else. It's like, yeah, that's not a straight line.
That was a different picture than what I saw. But life does deal us blows, and that's great. But at least if you know what direction you're going. So your home is no different, right?
I would agree.
Think about what your dreams are. What are the feelings you want to feel in a house? Do you want it to be calm? Do you want it to be a serene place? Do you want it to be a cheerful place? Do you want it to be an active place? Or maybe all of the above. Maybe different parts of your home have different feelings. But since a home is more than a place, it is a feeling. That's an important part to think about. And I know sometimes the guys get a little, we're going to talk feelings. So you're a guy, right? You can talk about this.
Sure.
But if
I'm evolved, though.
How your home feels is important because it is more than just a place to shelter us.
Right. Most people think of it as just a shelter, and that's not the case.
And if you look at the amount of money and time and effort we spend on our homes, it's obvious that they mean something to us.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely, once you kind of think of it in that way, it makes a lot of sense. So owning up to what those feelings are that you want from your home are another really great place to start. And they're part of your dream, right?
Right.
You buy that?
I buy it.
Okay, good. So far, so good. So we got the feelings, and then you got the promise. And that's what things does your home give back to you? And the ones that we talk about a lot in the green building world in particular are the benefits that a home promises to provide for its occupants and its residents. And those start, for me, with health, safety, and comfort. And then they also are time, money, ease, and convenience. Okay. And those 7 are typically the most commonly cited promises that people expect from their home. And the beautiful part is they go right along with the key benefits of a green home.
Yes, they do.
So a green home can be an excellent way to meet the promise that you may want from your home.
It's probably the best way to meet it.
It probably is. And we'll be back in just a moment to talk about how we go from there.
Are you a blogger? Always wanted to be one? Are you a business that wants to add a blog to their website? Are you an existing blogger who's looking for more traffic? Then check out bloggersbug.com for the perfect solution to your blog creation needs. Access bloggersbug.com now and get bit by the blogger's bug. How? Check out bloggersbug.com for the perfect solution to your blog creation needs. Get bit by the blogger's bug. Bloggersbug.com. Get bit by the blogger's bug.
Hey, podcast fans. Ever wanted to learn sign language? How about learning more about the deaf and hard of hearing culture? Well, the time and effort has come to allow you to do just that. Don't miss the Interpreter's Toolbox podcast from Two Guys Talking. Great sign language vocabulary lessons, contests, stories, and more are waiting for you after you watch this new video podcast. Check out interpretertoolbox.com for more details and get cash and prizes for your comments now. It's all about life. interpretertoolbox.com.
Hi, this is Art Maines from scammercast.com, where we educate, inform, and protect our elders and those who care for them on the Two Guys Talking podcast network.
Hey, Tony and Marla here, gabbing today about the Green Dream Home. Wait, Dream Green Home.
Dream Green Home.
That's really confusing.
It can be. Don't have a cocktail and try and say it.
Well,
That's why we do this sober.
We shouldn't go there. This whole concept of the dream home, we got pretty far into, and we really got down to talking about the promises or the benefits that we want to get from our homes. The health, safety, comfort, all that. And then the next trick is, how do you get there?
Oh, that's got to be the challenge right there.
And this is where I think a lot of folks aren't quite sure. We have a lot of folks in the home industry that are talking about the things that make these benefits possible.
Right.
But oftentimes they're not talking about them in terms of the promise or the benefits. And then we've got homeowners, consumers, residents that know what they want. They know what they want to feel. They know what their homes want to be like to them. They want to know how that all makes them feel. And they don't know how to get from what they want to creating what a builder or a remodeler or a manufacturer can relate to.
So you're saying, is there a communication issue?
I believe there is. In many cases. I have found some that are really well tuned into it, and most of them seem to doing really well. But the secret is that, okay, so I want health in my home.
Okay.
I want a healthier home. So what kind of things would you do to make a healthier home? Well, there's a whole litany of things that we could do for a healthier home. So one of the first questions that might come about is, what kinds of particular health are you most concerned about? Are there specific issues, or do you just want an overall healthier home? A lot of health issues center around air quality.
Right.
Which is something we can do something about. We can choose products that don't have as many toxins in them, that are low volatile organic compounds with the off-gassing stuff. We can choose hardwood or hard surfaced floors over soft surface like carpets because they don't hold as much stuff in them. We can choose filtration systems and ventilation systems to get out whatever might come in. We can choose natural ventilation strategies if allergies aren't a problem, for instance. So there's a lot of different ways to tackle it once you understand what the benefit, the goal is. What so many of us don't know when we go look at houses is we're looking at the end result without understanding what the objective was, what the goal was.
Well, not only that.
So we're backing into it.
You might not understand the objectives and you're looking at the house, but you don't understand all the components that went in.
Right. And I think as the buying public, we assume that something that's out there is good and it's going to meet our needs. Yet when we don't understand our needs, it's hard to make that leap of faith.
You're making the assumption that the person building this house has our best interest at hand.
Correct.
And that's not always the case.
Not always the case. Just like it isn't with manufactured products. You know, there's manufactured products out there that have chemicals in them that we've now found are toxic or carcinogenic, yet we still continue to use them.
Right.
For various reasons. And ironically, it may be some of those very benefits. Maybe it's convenient, but it's hurting our health. So we may be using things that give us one benefit, but
take away another.
Snarl up the other.
Yeah.
So it's important that you understand your individual priorities and what's important to you, or that place is not going to be able to be suited to your needs. And this can be done in existing homes. This can be done in remodeled homes, be done in new homes. You can work with a builder, even in a production home, to get a lot of this if you understand what you're aiming for. So that roadmap is really, really important. But you must take the time. It's just like life planning or any other goals in your life. You have to take a little time to understand what it is that you want.
So if you plan what your dream home should be, you should be able to have that plan and give it to your builder or architect. Mm-hmm. And off of that, they should be able to get you the end result you want.
You give it to a remodeler, an interior designer, whomever you're working with, your home professional that is going to help you make that a reality should be able to take this plan, this priorities, and help you turn it into actionable items. And that action is what matters, because that's where it turns into reality, right?
Right.
The materials we install, the way we do things, the processes we follow, those are all the actions that make that dream a reality.
So as long as it's still on paper, it's the dream. The minute the materials show up, that's when it's becoming reality.
Yeah, it really is. So it's kind of a cool concept. And I think that, I know.
There's no thinking here, only knowing.
I know, in the great words of Yoda. Being with that group of people, and thank you if you are listening, because you were a wonderful audience to do this workshop with for the very first time. And the feedback that I received was very, very encouraging. I'm excited to take this workshop out to more folks. But this is what I really feel I can offer. This is something I can help people see, is how to connect those dots.
Well, and most people won't do it by themselves. They need somebody to facilitate for them and show them how to connect the dots.
Well, hopefully we got started with that group. So
well, let's hope.
I think so. So now that you've got an idea of how to set your priorities to make your dream home, you also need to figure out how to pay for this.
Oh, we got to pay for this?
Yeah, we still
I
got
thought
to
you
pay
said
for
this was
it.
dream home.
Well, if you're going to make it a reality and it's going to be actionable, you still have to pay for it. Unless you're going to barter.
In my
or
dreams,
build.
this would be free.
Well, you can, I guess, go out into the wilderness and find the materials yourself and build it yourself, which is totally doable these days in some places. Location might matter.
As long as they don't have codes, you're okay.
Well, you figure, a lot of people did build their own structures for most of the time humanity has been around, so...
I'm pretty sure they didn't do it in St. Louis City.
No, probably not. Probably not. But what that says is we're just going to go with the assumption that you're going to pay with money to build or renovate your home, be it a new one you're getting into or your existing home. Now you want to go find resources to help you with that. And the cool thing is there's a lot of resources.
Oh, that's good.
A lot.
I bet most people don't even know that there's multiple resources there.
You know what? It takes a little digging and a little work. So like everything else, we have a lot of priorities on our plate, and sometimes we don't get to that one. And a lot of the programs are government or utility backed, so they do require some paperwork. However, it's probably worth a little time to go dig in if the money is important to you.
Well, yeah, especially in the age of the internet.
Right. And if it helps you to do something more than what you could have done otherwise to further realize your dreams, wow.
Right.
I mean, who doesn't want to fund their dreams?
If these programs can say, hey, you're stuck here, at step B in your life, and you want to get to step A, well, these programs can get you there. Why wouldn't you do them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a couple of different ways to look at this. One is there's incentive programs, there's some rebate programs, and there's also some financing programs.
Okay.
When we get back from our break, I want to kind of spend just a few minutes talking about those and giving folks some ideas for some options on where they can go to really start finding a little help. Because I think once you have a little bit of help, it's kind of like everything else. It catches on and you find a little bit more and then it grows. So,
it becomes addictive.
Yeah, it does. So we're going to hopefully make a few folks get excited about some things they can do.
Excellent.
We'll be right back.
Looking for a straightforward user interface and a cost-effective, feature-filled multi-track recording software? Call off the search! Mixcraft from Acoustica has exactly what you're looking for. It's time to include reliable audio creation and editing software with real punch into your projects. Check out Mixcraft now over at acoustica.com/Mixcraft and start a new generation of audio creation and editing today.
Don't miss the next episode of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't just a television show now on ABC. It's a great new podcast available at agentsofshield.tv, only on the Two Guys Talking podcast network.
Back on the Green Gab, we've been talking about
all sorts of stuff.
I know, but I love this whole concept of a dream green home and how you can make it a reality. This is my dream.
I know it is.
I mean, I can't think of anything more fun than to be able to share that with people as I go through it. And that's actually one of my other dreams is to record that whole process and help other people understand how they can do that.
Put it out there so they can see it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a few years before I get there. We got some other things to settle up first.
We're still in a society that needs to see it and touch it and feel it to understand a process.
Well, that's why I love these muddy boots tours that builders do. So you can actually go through a home as it's being constructed and see inside the walls. Because that's where the
cool
magic
stuff.
is.
Because by the time it's drywalled, you're not going to see all the fun stuff.
Yeah. So many green homes that are certified just look like every other home. But the magic's what's inside, the processes that were used, and you don't see all that.
But that's the idea. You want them to look like they belong in the
Exactly.
neighborhood.
However, it kind of doesn't look like it's real if you don't see any difference.
Right.
It's kind of the Prius effect, right?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So the Prius effect where people want to drive something that looks different so people know that it is different. And then you have people that want to drive a hybrid that's just a hybrid but looks like every other car, or an electric that looks like an electric.
Right.
So it really depends. Multiple ways to go there. We have a big enough market economy to accommodate all of them.
Yes, we do.
So now that we know that we want that dream home, we were talking about financing it. So incentives and rebates is a great place to start. So there's this excellent database that I've used for several years called Desire. And I will put the link up on the podcast notes. But Desire USA lists by state all of the incentives that are out there, be they rebate programs, be they tax credits or tax deductions, financing programs. So there's just a ton of programs up there, and it varies by state because some of the programs are state-driven, some are local-driven, some are utility-driven, some are co-op-driven, some are federal-driven. So there's a whole host of them. So this is a great database to go see what's available in your area.
And I'm going to guess not all states are created equal when it comes to this.
Yeah, absolutely true. But there's several federal tax programs right now for solar, for renewable energy items like solar photovoltaics that make electricity, or geothermal, also known as earth source heat pumps, the ones where they drill down into the earth.
Some wind.
Yeah, definitely wind. So renewable energy is a big one. There's also, at least here in Missouri, and again, I urge people to look in your own state. It is Desire is DSIRE, and then it's USA.org. And like I said, we'll put it on the podcast notes. But when you look by your state, you'll even see that there's programs. So for instance, in Missouri, there's some programs on the Kansas City side, and there's other programs on the St. Louis side.
Right, because you have different utility companies.
Right. And then some of the co-ops offer programs. So you just kind of have to look by your zip code or by your location and see what's available. The federal programs are up there. One in particular I wanted to make sure that we chatted about. It's the FHA Power Saver Loan Program. And this program is kind of similar to some of the private programs that we've talked about on earlier podcasts. But this actually can cover not only independent energy upgrades, but it also can cover a second mortgage or a remodel. So you could do a complete remodel.
Oh, wow.
The 203K program is one I was familiar with, and I believe this is wrapped around that program.
Gotcha.
But you can actually do a complete renovation, and as long as there's energy pieces in that renovation, then it would qualify for this Power Saver. Definitely go read the fine print to see how to do it. But here's the deal. A lot of us are never going to get a chance to build a new home, or we love our homes.
Right.
We love where they are. Like I love, love, love my neighborhood. Love where I am. So this program allows you to take advantage of that and do something to an existing home as well.
Gotcha.
Because not all of us are going to have an opportunity to build, or like I said, we may not want to. So renovating may make sense.
Well, like you said, you love your neighborhood, but what are the chances of you getting to build a brand new house in your neighborhood?
Right. Exactly. And while there is a lot of infill building going on across the country, which brings up, all kinds of other topics.
Right.
It always seems like it's a little more obvious to find programs related to new build.
Oh, of course.
And
because it's easier.
Well, that may be true because you're working with a clean slate.
Yep.
That's definitely to be taken into consideration. The thing I would urge people to do, if you are thinking of doing something more than what you believe the people you're speaking with, your loan officer, your builder, your designer, if you want to do more than you think they are comfortable doing, don't give up. Don't give up. Find the people that will help you. They're out there. There's a lot of resources available. And again, you have to decide your priorities. We built a home years and years ago that was not my perfect home, but it was on the most beautiful lot. And it was a lot that we really, really wanted. And that became our first priority, was where was that lot? And we gave up some other things. So all of us are going to have, that trade-off potentially.
Right.
And your dream home may, and you still may have to have trade-offs for that too.
But that's the thing. It's your dream home. Don't let somebody else derail your dreams because they aren't comfortable with it or they don't understand it.
Right. What I hope to share with people is by helping people understand the financial programs that are out there to assist, things like the FHA Power Saver loan, the incentives, the rebate programs, things like the kind of financing that was shared with us by Tricia McConkey a while back. There's options out there. You just have to ask. If you go do the same thing that you've always done, you're going to keep getting the same results.
Right.
It's just, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. It just doesn't happen that way. The universe doesn't operate that way. And it is not prohibitively more expensive to build a better home that meets your needs. It really isn't. I really kind of get a little perturbed with everybody saying, oh, it's so much more expensive, because it doesn't have to be. It's the choices you make.
Even if the construction cost is a little bit more, the operation cost, the difference makes up for it.
Quickly.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
That's why they have the term payback.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's not the financial payback that's the first driver. It is an important driver. We all live on a budget.
Right. It's the upfront cost
right.
for a lot of people.
And we can only afford so much. But do remember that taking a cost and spreading it out over the length of a mortgage comes out much more attractively than paying for it out of pocket.
Right.
As we learned the hard way when we built. So I understand that. So I hope that we've given some light and some direction to how it is possible to have your dream home. How to dream for it, plan for it, and pay for it. Oh, there we go. I like that.
Makes sense to me.
Well, you've been kind of quiet today.
Well, you've had so much to say.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, you were on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt you. There's nothing worse than interrupting the stream of consciousness.
Well, I appreciate it. And we thank you for joining us on the Green Gab today, where we are rocking it out with folks in green. Have a blessed day.